I look crazy.
Hi, everybody. This is Crypto Happy Hour.
Are we happy?
We are.
You're
Are we?
happy?
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
I'm happy.
But I have tequila.
Well, yeah. I'm posing as a lizard on Twitter. So today we are going to go through some absolutely mind-boggling research. Really.
I love when we talk to ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we show up on YouTube, right?
Oh.
So, okay, wait. We're going to talk about AI.
Let's start over.
We're going to talk about AI and what happens when the agentic world comes to crypto. And the way we're going to do it is the research that we put together is so mind-boggling that we're actually going to unpack it live. Like we're going to sit around and go, what do you think that means? That's how
I'm going to tell you what I think, and then you're going to go, let me tell you what that means.
Okay, right.
That's your job, to translate my insanity.
Right. So
grab a drink, folks. So I'm having tequila ginger, one of my favorites. What are you having? Strawberry lemonade?
Yeah. Strawberry lemonade.
I tried
stevia
that.
grandpa soda. It's awesome.
No
sugar.
It's a little too strawberry for me.
Right. Okay. Right. So it's fruity. I may need to up my testosterone. Anyway, we're going
to
have
about our health issues.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Golly knows what we wind up talking about. So we're going to look at DEXE. We're going to look at Zest. Those were two coins that Toby picked in April. DEXE from a long time ago. We got a 5X on that for our June report card. That was our best pick, or Toby's best pick. OpenServe was a wah, but
it's not done yet.
It's
not. I'm in love with OpenServe, so I think it's more of a long-term play. And
and of course,
on our next show, the private show,
right?
We're going to talk about more long-term plays because that's my thing. I like being early in projects. Right.
And we were early in DEXE, which is all that and then some now. So we'll do a little bit of bragging on the free show. We will have Disaster Corn, which is a stealth favorite in the VIP show where I say everything that's wrong with the world and Toby says
not a problem.
Right. But we still do it anyway, and people still love it. So we will make sure you get a sample of Disaster Corn, right? And then we will go through. We have
Disaster Corn.
You like Disaster Corn?
I do.
Right.
Because
Zapatis is watching the stream later. They're like, we got guys who tune in. They're like, where is it? Where is it?
But the reason I like it is because you're presenting what other people are saying,
right.
all these doom and gloomers, right? And it gives me an opportunity to explain a contrarian narrative to that because I'm good at contrarian stuff. I think that's my special sauce, right? That I don't think like other people. And so when other people are saying this and this and this, I'm like, well, basically, wrong, but and here's why,
Right. And that's why you should hit the join button at the bottom of the chat and join us in the YouTube VIP member area. This is
so much fun.
We have so much fun. This is a free sample of what we do in the YouTube member area. I think, Shelly got a personal private stream the other day when we went at 8 a.m. Shelly, if you're out there, we love you. We're going to welcome who's here in a minute, but the join button is at the bottom of the chat. You can scan the QR code. People, now is the time to get the small caps.
It is. Yes.
Everybody wants to be early. Everybody wants to be early. You're always early.
Even in life.
Geniuses are usually early.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I like to be early. I don't want to be the last one to the party.
No, definitely not.
No, you don't want to be. In crypto, you definitely don't want to be the last one to the party.
No.
You don't want to FOMO in.
You don't want to be the egg. You don't want to be everybody's exit liquidity.
You want exactly. And so I have something I want to talk about, but I'm gonna save it.
Okay.
And you can ask me later. But let's do what we typically do. which is disaster porn.
Right. Okay. So
On the cop.
So for today's disaster, we have a renewal of hostilities.
Oh yeah, there's another war story. God knows how much I love those.
I know, it's like our 12th war. So the old war, which was over,
I mean, it's not sad.
with the
people are dying, right? So I'm not making fun of that. I just want to be clear about that. But the narrative is getting a bit exhausting, because whenever the narrative comes up for me, right, what I think is, what are they trying to distract me from? What's really important, not that war isn't important for the people who are going through it, but what else is going on? Because I sort of feel like when they, have these crises, they're a bit manufactured and they get a lot of hype in the media.
Right.
Because they're trying to distract us from something that's way more important. And there's some cool stuff that's come out this week. And maybe it's a distraction from that. Maybe it's a distraction from one of the things you talk about, which is the Fiat crises, right?
Right. That's going on in
Multiple
Japan.
ones, yes.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Japan and even China.
Right.
Right.
Right. Their economy is crashing. Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about crashing, but yeah, what happens is there's these real events that are happening that you need to pay attention to, because it should be affecting your investment strategy, right? And if you ignore that and pay attention to, the hullabaloo that's going on, I think you're making a mistake, right? Stay focused on your path. Know what you want to get out of life, things, investing, right? So you can stay focused on your path. Stop looking at your feet, which is the thing that's happening now, and focus on where we're headed, because GPS doesn't do you any good if you don't turn it on and you just look at your feet and try to figure out, oh, what's the next step? Oh, there's a rock. Let me maneuver here. Not that those aren't important, but it's less important than focusing on your direction for the future.
Right. So all the exploding videos on Twitter, it looks like empty buildings are burning. I'm sure they're not empty, but it's almost like they want the price of oil to go up, and it's funny because it can't. But
they do.
They do. And you said this, but I mean, what's weird about that is that
we're into disaster porn.
Yeah, we're into disaster porn because they want oil. They want oil higher.
Did you buy gas today?
Did I what?
Buy gas today?
Did I what today?
Buy gas.
Yeah,
Gasoline.
Of course I did. Yeah, I filled up immediately. I was like, I saw oil up 5%.
You bought into it. Not that that's a bad strategy. It's a micro strategy. Again, it's a strategy.
Right. Well, yeah. There's all these guys who think oil's going into. No. There's.
But I told you before the last time there was an oil crisis, I was like.
Yeah, everybody was like, oil was going to 200,
and I was like, yeah, 120, 150 top, right?
Right. Actually, you said 120. You were like, it's not going above 120. It went to 120 and crashed, which was like, so everybody got wound up today. And I think the only reason there is to get wound up is because if oil gets back above 75, it doesn't give Warsh room to, I don't know, to be more dovish or cut rates, or at least be more dovish, right? He's been this like vague hawk, supposedly. I think that's all bullshit. But did I say that? I'm sorry.
Did you curse?
I thought we were on the VIP stream.
I know, we're so used to that.
Okay, so Bitcoin.
Give us the curse word.
So Bitcoin does not do well in these environments because Bitcoin is essentially, it's looking for liquidity. It's looking for printing. We're going to be printing for Japan, but this oil thing is such a distraction from getting Bitcoin going. It sucks. And I know the whole world revolves around Bitcoin. not really.
Yeah,
And
I know,
crypto.
You're so monogamous.
I know.
Let's talk about polyamory.
No, let's not.
We talked about this on the show.
So we do this on the show about you have to be in love with multiple projects, but you know, I am so sick. Okay, and the other disaster corn is it's the 4-year cycle. These guys just won't stop. Some kid did a TikTok. It's like the market goes up for 1,000 days. The market goes up,
but they're pretty late to the party. So here's the
thing. But they've been saying it's going down all year.
No, well, some people.
The YouTube crowd, in terms of them picking up on the disaster cycle thing.
Yeah, but they're late to the party.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, if you were gonna say, "Oh, the 4-year cycle," you know when you should have said it? A year ago.
I know.
Oh, now you're chiming in? No, there was a finger gesture that was coming out.
Right.
I have to.
Right, late stage bears. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
it is ridiculous.
Annoying.
It is annoying. Everyone's like, it's going to 40K. It's the only thing that plays on YouTube. You know, Michael Saylor disaster corn is the only thing anybody wants to talk about.
But he did exactly what I told you he would do.
Right, and I thought you were out of your mind. I was just like, sell $4 billion and get it over with. Toby's like, he's going to sell at the beginning of every month, like rent. Mm-hmm. Everybody freaked out, and then that was a nothing burger. I don't know if the oil thing is a nothing burger. I know Japan isn't. I just don't know if the market is.
Well, Japan, for me, the most interesting concern of what you've brought up so far is the Japan thing. However, my take on it is we're just going to print more money. So it will delay an interest rate cut, but it won't delay a liquidity.
Interesting.
Yeah. And of course, you know, a bump in liquidity is good for crypto.
Right. So and they have to give the Japanese money. They essentially have to print money and give it to Japan for them to defend their currency. And everyone is also afraid, I don't think this is true, that Japan is going to start indiscriminately selling like US dollar assets to get dollars.
But the bond market is the biggest thing. So that's the long-term trend that I'm most interested in.
Right.
Well, is what's going to happen with the bond market. And I have my own ideas that we went into in depth on our last show, right?
Right.
In our private stream.
Right. So Eagle King has just joined us. So he'll flash up the QR code. So if you want to get the 411 on the currency crisis with the yen and all that and what that means for Bitcoin, you definitely want to tune in, because we do disaster corn covers the macro, and then we do small cap picks, and we'll talk about that, plus like wild futuristic AI themes, because I don't know if you knew this, but Toby wrote a science fiction book and then turned that into a model to help pick small coins. So that gives us this unique alpha that, you know, that helped us find DEXE, DEXE, and other coins and new stuff coming out. You know, for all you 4-year cycle fans, you know, it's over. The down move's over in October. So, you know, do your summer shopping for back to school in October.
Yeah, so even if you know, and it's not that I disagree about the 4-year cycle, but on the private stream, what we've talked about is why it's becoming irrelevant, right?
Right.
So it's fine if you want to believe in it for now, right? But no matter what, whether you believe in it or not believe in it, this is summer shopping, right? In July. This is our opportunity. So,
yeah. And even the guys who love Bitcoin, like one guy who loves it and thinks it's the most asymmetric long trade ever, thinks that Bitcoin can't go up because sentiment and people are so depressed. Like that really is the ultimate disaster corn, is that people are so bummed out that nobody thinks it can go up.
Well, it's one of the things I talk about in the book, like these sentiment engines that move markets. Right. And those are actually a pretty pure form of trading, right? But when you think about markets historically, so if we go back like 200-300 years, right, to the early days of the markets when they were purer, which is what I like. It reminds me most of crypto. It's one of the reasons why I like crypto better. So there's nothing wrong with it, except for if you're not contrarian, right? So sentiment markets work if you're not contrarian. I mean, if you are contrarian. They don't work so well if you're contrarian. If you look at the early days of markets, right? The people who were making money in those markets were the people who were more visionary and thinking about the futures of things, right? It's how insurance came about, right? So you think about ultimate consequences in a wide range, right? And then you bet on those things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
Yeah. What you're saying is it's almost like what Warren Buffett says, that the market exists to transfer money from people who aren't patient to people who are.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like Warren Buffett. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's sitting on a lot of cash, though, so it's really interesting.
Because he got out of the market.
Right.
Which could be an early sign.
Right. Well, yeah, he missed a lot of upside. Okay. Would you like to welcome who's here?
Why not?
Okay.
Are we done with disaster porn?
Well, yeah. Well, you took care of it. I mean, the disaster porn.
I'm so sorry.
The disaster porn melds into cryptotherapy. No, we don't need to do cryptotherapy on the free stream, or maybe we do. I mean, it's just like people are just so bummed out that, like, if you try to get it going, if you
could ask questions, you could say, "Who needs cryptotherapy?"
Well, we all know who needs cryptotherapy, right? Of course. This is the perfect. This is what we do in the bear. This is what we do in the bear market. I mean, we get ready with small caps, we do macro, and then Bill drinks his friggin' strawberry soda and gets mental, and then we have to straighten it all out. And hopefully, this becomes a model for what you can do when you get mental, because there's a reason there's the word cry in crypto. Okay, we have Art is either at the Amsterdam airport, or he's going there, or he's leaving. He's working a night shift in Europe, so I'm not going to calculate that. Gary, a member, is reminding you to hit the like button. Welcome. Aloha.
Thank you.
Art wants to look at Zama. I do have that queued up. Okay, Gary wants to fire Elizabeth Warren and replace her with me. So I'm now running for senator.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's a scary world where that exists. I'm sorry.
Me as a senator?
Love you, but I just don't
all right. Well,
see you as a political person.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll just drink my strawberry soda in the corner and get wipe the drool off my face. Yav is here. TLA lover, right? Both Spartan colonels. Gary, we are lucky enough to hear from Toby tonight. TLA lover is going wild with our custom emojis for members. We have Notorious with the crown.
We still need to do
Toby,
the
chopper one. Yeah, we have tequila. We have the blue tequila one, which you haven't seen in a while.
I know. I got it tonight.
We do not have the lizard emoji, but the prototypes are out there.
Bill's working on it. Do you want to share your newest one?
Yeah. So I mean, the Eagle King is really the one with the art. But this is the prototype. The reason, for anybody who's new, the lizard joke is, we think that the Silicon Valley types are all lizards, and they basically want to eat us humans or make us eat lizards or bugs or whatever. Okay, we debate back and forth as to whether or not that's functional or dysfunctional. It's mostly dysfunctional, so we're turning our dysfunction and my dysfunction into some sort of like broadening meme joke. So it'll be post yourself as a lizard on Twitter.
Yes. Or here, post yourself as a lizard.
Right. I don't think they can post here, but feel free to post yourself as a lizard on Twitter. Toby Lizard coming next. A1 Rising is in the house. Looking out for communists. GF. We have
oh my God, are there
Ima Minoki Prince
We're back in the 1920s.
You are not live on TikTok, Bill. No, this is not on TikTok because we can't fit all of this deluxe Toby art and us on the screen at the same time. We would literally have to be sitting in like some sort of 1950s cheek to cheek thing, and that costs extra. So we have Try Outdoors. Edelmake is here. Welcome. Right, the Boom Tomb. Judge Judy is back. Welcome.
Gosh, Judge Judy.
It's a war with the lowest death count ever.
Right? People. I know.
Yes.
No, you shouldn't laugh at death counts. But I did. I apologize for that. But I agree.
Well, there are death counts, but I don't. Have you seen it? Okay, we haven't seen it.
Yeah, let's
not do it. Joseph is here. He needs cryptotherapy in Bill.
Oh, ask me a question, Joseph.
A1 Rising said, an inanimate object could do better than Elizabeth Warren. Odd Dark has found the lizard emoji.
Hey, Odd Dark.
Right. Try Outdoors reminds you to hit the like button. And Mojo is here.
Hello, Mojo.
Will meme coins ever come back? Should I wait till that point to sell Toshi and buy Nock? When do you think meme coins will come back?
Listen, I hate to say this is very controversial because I know we have some disagreements about meme coins, but not a fan. We'll just say that. Not a fan.
Look, the machines are going to build meme coins. The machines are going to build meme coins, and then the machines are going to use the human scurrying reaction to the meme coins as input data. To study human behavior.
Exactly. That's what we've been talking about for about a year, right?
Right.
Where I told you my belief about the evolution of meme coins,
Right.
So, for our members, I've kind of been hinting at, I don't like to tell people what to do because it all depends on your strategy and what you're going to do. But I have not been a big believer in meme coins for over a year. There's just so many other really interesting projects, and we can talk about them because I gave you the June report card, right? There's just so many other projects that I'm so much more interested in that have utility, and for me, it's all about utility. I want to build on something that has a purpose. It's just my personal opinion, but I do think that there will be a resurrection of meme coins. However, I believe that they are going to transfigure themselves into something completely different. So a lot of the meme coins that are around now that were popular last summer, it's going to be something different.
Yeah, the machines will just make new coins, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so any updates on TIG, which has actually held up good relative to the rest of the market?
Well, we've been talking about that coin for a long time.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah, sure.
This is just we can do Zama for art from the airport.
And if you're on our private live stream, which we do every week, of course, you get to ask these questions about your personal coins.
Yeah, so this is Zama protocol for art. It's been going up.
This is the year to date. That's good.
Right, that's year to date.
It's a good chart.
I think, and Zama is confidential on-chain finance.
Oh, why'd you say art?
Because Art is the guy.
Oh,
Art's the guy. He works the night shift
I'm
at
an
the
artist,
Amsterdam.
so I think art.
Yeah, no, it's AART.
Okay, that's a cool name.
So confidential on-chain finance, kind of.
And we talked a little bit about this on our private show,
right?
So I'll leak a little bit here, but the DeFi in our description, and if you're one of our members, we have a different kind of description or definition of DeFi, but DeFi is coming back from now until the end of the year. So that's something you should be paying attention to.
Okay. And in innovation game.
Which I have liked for a really long time.
Okay.
So awesome.
This is a reminder that nothing outperforms forever, right?
Well, I would say the opposite of that, Bill.
Okay.
I'm going to be a contrarian.
Well, meaning it outperforms and then you'll get some sort of retracement.
That's the nature of this market, right? So what we're seeing there are two bumps, right?
Right. So
as I always like to say, two pimples and then it wants to pop.
Right. That's like the way I would read this is, don't look at this because this is just like FOMO followed by crash. It started and then it stopped. It started and then it stopped. And a lot of times that can be a prelude to a three wave, right? Which means a three wave, which is
three way.
Yeah, no, not a three way. That's polyamory later. A three wave, which can be a stronger uptrend. So
polyamory is something we talk about.
Right. So you got to watch out when she gets going on that. It just means don't fall in love with any one particular coin, because
or do, but hold it longer. I mean, there are things that and this is one of the things that we talk about on the private stream is how to distinguish between a flirtation, and
right. There's love affair, flirtation, and dating.
Exactly.
Right. And
to me, this would fall into the love affair thing, right? So it's on, it's off. There's a lot of drama there, which is why you have a lot of up and down.
You got to watch out for those drama relationships. Okay, so potentially.
But they could be really good in the beginning. It's just knowing how to time it, right?
That's correct. So we're going to start with our report card.
This is good. So you get to grade me, Bill.
Okay.
On how good I did for the last month.
So Toby found DEXE in April.
Oh, it was more than a month ago, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was March 18th.
Mm-hmm.
There's the name of the portfolio, March 18th AI. She found DEXE, which was trading at $5 at the time and is now at $25. Zest also did well, and we like rails over hype, meaning what are machines going to use? And basically what we're going to be doing is unpacking these ideas. I'll say something and then Toby will chime in with the clairvoyant, and then I'll try to translate it. So it's a little tennis, PowerPoint to the psychic, back to the translation. The market is not rewarding chatbots or memes. It's like Bitcoin DeFi, governance that can be used by machines. Like what happens when machines start voting in DAOs in split second? Nobody is asking these questions. Everybody's talking about chips. By the way, chips collapsed. Speaking of disaster,
I know, like
Kospi went down 20%.
We talked about chips like last year, right? As a narrative. That's one of the benefits, I think, of being one of our members is that we talk about things before the rest of the market does. So you know what to pay attention to. Right.
We're early on themes. So, we're just giving you help here. Okay. Zest, BTC-Fi for collateral, governance, DEXE, identity, WLD and BAS, privacy, Grandpa Keter and Railgun, data and AI, track.
And Railgun's down right now, so it's a good buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Link and Ondo for the settlement layer, right? Nobody thinks of those as a settlement layer, right? AI CapEx needs settlement, identity, and data. Okay. High dispersion tokens with usage hooks over just what's going up today. Privacy becomes a requirement when agents, wallets, and strategies are observable.
Yeah.
That means once this swarm hits.
So it's important in our private show, when we discuss the privacy narrative, this is really early stages, right? So it's going to be evolving. You know, as time goes on, we've been talking about the privacy narrative for over a year, right?
Right.
And it's really evolved in that time. Think about our early discussions. And
Right.
the
The
coins.
Zcash drama.
Exactly.
Railgun went.
Exactly. But there's more to come, right? There's so much more. It means so much more. And there's not even the projects available right now. So as the market expands to include these AI agents, we're going to need a way to differentiate between who you are. Like, are you a human? Are you an agent? All of these things are going to become really important. And a lot of products to help with it, they haven't even come out yet. So on our private stream, we talk about this kind of stuff so it can make you aware of what you need to look out for, right?
Absolutely.
And this is such a huge problem that nobody else is really talking about. I don't see in my feeds, nobody's talking about, if they talk about privacy, it's mostly about shielding yourself. And it's not really about this, which is why, like on our last stream, we talked about healthcare, which is, I think,
don't tell them that.
I know.
Tell them that.
But they can come on to our show.
Right. They can come and get the DEXE picks. Okay.
DEXE and healthcare. But there are arenas where your privacy becomes so important that it pushes these emergent technologies. That's my whole point.
I think what you said is there's going to be no such thing as AI crypto. Every crypto is going to be AI.
Well, I've said that.
And then and then I think everything is going to have a privacy layer, or it's not going to work, right? Okay, so Zest is collateral flywheel, meaning a Bitcoin holder can get a loan, right, and repay in Bitcoin. Zest becomes a sector proxy. Bitcoin has the deepest brand, so borrow liquidity without selling.
And we've talked about this for a long time.
Productive
too.
Bitcoin, exactly. Right? Yeah. Then there's the DEXE deep dive. Okay, AI agents don't just need intelligence; they need rules. Like, machines just can't go off and, I don't know, this can't just go off like Arnold Schwarzenegger in some movie and start blowing stuff up. They got to have governance. Not just a generic AI token, voting, treasury execution. That's why the machine economy is better than most AI coins, right? And then DEXE might be able to play an integral role in that. The invisible layer may be the valuable layer. DAOs need better tooling before larger treasuries can move on-chain safely. Right? Governance as a service can monetize across RWA, blah, 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 blah. So DEXE could be thinking of governance rules as a service, right?
So, and we can talk about this because I have previously, so we've been doing this for a few years, right? A couple years ago, I was like, DAOs aren't really the way to go, right? But now they're becoming critical to the infrastructure, right? So this is something that we'll look out in the future, right? These DAOs, as these agents move on chain, there needs to be rules around it, right?
Right.
And another thing that I wanted to talk about, which will go probably way more deep, even though it's so early days, there aren't a lot of projects to talk about, but we'll go way more deep into that, which is in alignment with the rules for agents, right? Is the scheduling for things. So one of the things that we've been talking about and I don't think we're giving anything away from our private.
No,
stream,
you're not. This must be in
is-
the 2050 meeting because I wasn't in on this
we
one.
touched on it. We
Right.
touched on it. Again, my brain's always overworking, but is that when you place a trade, right, you're not even really put into a queue, right? It's more like a waiting platform for a train, and there is a mechanism that decides what trades go through, right? So it hasn't been a huge problem because there's always a delay in trading when humans are involved, right? But with agents, not so much. So one of the things that we're going to look at in our next show are these projects that queue trades. So you can place a trade in, right, and at a certain price, but not get it at that price because there's a delay. Well, it doesn't work for AI, right? These zillions of instantaneously trades are going to trade. They're going to change the nature of this altogether. And so there are some projects, and there will probably be more, that are going to deal with how do we build the queue? Who gets in first and why? It's critically important.
Right. And
so this
is
like 10 steps ahead of where everybody else is right now.
Right. So this is, we're just going to go right into it. This is, beyond the report card. So this is Agentic Alpha. We will have to unpack this. Toby wrote this report. I did the slides. I'm like, whoa. Agents will not care which chain has the best story. They will route to execution.
It's going to change everything.
So,
what y'all don't realize, and one of the things we focus on our show, is how when these AI agents start trading, it truly changes the nature of everything in the markets, right?
Right. And nobody is, some people are talking about it. No one's ready.
Well, they're not deep diving.
Right. We're still in chips and the 4-year cycle.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah. We talked about that last year. We're on to the next thing.
Right. So MEV monad a priority, right? If I'm saying it right. An agent market is going to route, optimize, settles, and repeats, whereas humans click, react, panic, and wait.
Yeah. Things are going to happen so fast.
The marginal blockchain user will become software.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing. So what y'all have been able to participate until now. The thing is that in the future, and one of the things I'm working on are these agents, right? That help predict, right? But the market is going to change so rapidly because these agents make these decisions super quick. And a human, you're going to have no option, right? Especially if you're a day trader. If you're like me, I care about long-term trends. I care about spotting early cycles and getting in before things hit, which is the best way that I can compete, because I can't be a day trader. I can't. Plus the anxiety level. I just can't.
Well, Robinhood was pumping the fact that they're going to give people agent tools.
No, and I think that's great. I do. I actually think that's really, really good. But I would prefer to quantify early movements. I'm a futurist. It's why I write science fiction. It's what I love to do, right? Is to predict trends at the very beginning of them. So for me, I'm more of a long-term strategist. I like to find the early trend and get in at the beginning of it,
Right. And this is kind of like, and this is mind-boggling, right? The scarce asset, there is no scarce asset in the world, right? Maybe except Bitcoin. The scarce asset becomes execution control. Who controls autonomous order flow And then, we have to get deep into this. MEV is not a side effect.
Oh, that's what I was just talking
It's
about.
the hidden market structure of crypto.
That's exactly.
I mean, that in itself is a deep dive and a report unto itself, right? So, a new layer appears between apps and settlement, DeFi applications, execution intelligence, privacy, liquidity, settlement, Monad, Bitcoin layer 2s, Ethereum. Does anyone remember that? Okay.
We're going to see a lot more layer 1, speaking of this, because of speed of execution. When agents come into the market, that is going to be a critical element to their success. And right now, it's one of the reasons why I mentioned Monad in here. But even that isn't good enough yet, right? So I don't have any ideas about how you should take advantage of this knowledge, but knowing that it's coming so you can look for these projects is critical.
Yeah, and there are super fast layer 1s out there. But here's another, again, folks, this is like a sample of mind-boggling concepts. Machine learning systems reward rails with repeatable feedback loops.
Yes.
Execution data becomes training data.
Absolutely.
Slippage is a label, MEV loss is a penalty, rebates become alpha. It's oh my God. I mean, this is high frequency trading from Wall Street coming to crypto with agents just jumping in.
Times 1,000, right? Because your trades are executed faster than I can snap my fingers.
Right. So
which you can't do on Wall Street.
Right.
There's a lag. Well, and there's no lag.
Yeah, well, there's a lag for humans, but not for machines, not for the Wall Street machines. And the guy from Robinhood said this, program trading, that's what they called it in the 80s. And then it was algorithmic trading, and then it's dark pools. This stuff's been around for decades at Wall Street, but now humans are going to get to play with this stuff, and we're going to get to watch the machines do it kind of live. It's not going to be behind Goldman's firewall. So Monad is interesting because machines hate queues. Yeah. Ethereum style execution, one cashier, everyone waits. That's ETH. And then if you have, parallel EVM execution for agents, throughput is not a vanity metric. So the faster, the better. A priority, it's the edgy idea, a liquid staking token become a routing collateral primitive. Again, that in itself is a stream. But I mean, in other words, remember the first, think of it this way. Remember the first time you heard about DeFi? Remember the first time you heard about MetaMask? Remember the first time you heard NFT? I heard Miss Teen Crypto talk about NFTs. Literally, the name of the conference was PooCoin 2021. It ran PooCoin. And she gets up there and starts talking about NFTs, and nobody knew what the hell she was talking about. And then all of a sudden, Madonna's paying $600,000 for a Bored Ape, a monkey JPEG. 12 months later, some of this stuff, we're not going to PowerPoint you to death. Justin Bieber again. Justin Bieber, Tom Brady, and Madonna. All right. We can show you this because we're so nice, right?
What are we showing?
Well, we're showing some of the coins that it's like Zest Bitcoin credit reserve for agents.
Oh, this is the finance stack.
Yeah.
So these are critical tools for this particular narrative. And this is what we do.
Yeah, and we cover a lot of narratives.
Yeah.
Right?
So we talk about a narrative, we talk about its importance, and then we give you some of the coins, knowing that these are emerging technologies. But again, I like to be early.
Right. And somewhere in the mix is another DEXE, right?
Yeah, always.
A priority, Railgun. We got one of our guys into that. Magma, Monad, machine speed settlement. I remember when that came out, huge hype. OpenServe got hammered short term, may come back.
I like OpenServe.
So
long term, it's a great narrative, and that's what we do on the show. We don't talk about what's the next meme hype that's going to go up and then blow up, right?
Right.
In a bad way. We talk about what's going to go up and blow up in a good way.
Right. Well, we're trying to talk about what's going to go up and stay up. So let's just talk buzzwords that you'll eventually need to know: execution intelligence, parallel EVM, private agent execution, prevents strategy leakage, autonomous governance, Bitcoin credit, and agent orchestration.
Yes.
Okay. So I know it's crypto happy hour, and we don't want to send you we have enough in this PowerPoint to cover, I'm guessing, 2 months of weekly shows.
Well, we'll definitely talk about it on the next privacy. We'll go in depth on this, especially if that's what.
Right. And especially since there's for every concept, there's probably 8 or 9 coins that we could find, or Toby finds it. We package the stuff with AI and, deliver the slick PowerPoints. So, I mean,
the PowerPoint is beautiful, Bill. I have to admire.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Yeah. Gary says Canton is on sale right now.
That's been one of our picks from last year.
Right. Mm-hmm. Judge, Jury, and Synthesizer says, is Doge still the BTC of all meme coins? Joseph Green says Sui, and I wholeheartedly agree. Raul Paul took it on the chin for talking about Sui.
I love Sui, and I have loved Sui for years.
Right.
And it's still an amazing project.
And they talk about the amount of tokens that have to be unlocked there. And when the narrative is nothing but the unlock, then they overprice the unlock. And then when it actually goes up, there's enough demand to absorb.
Well, and what I was going to say is when they do the unlock, right, there's a surge upwards.
Right.
And then there's a drop. The best time to do is get in at the drop.
Right. And speaking of that, Canton is dumping because too much supply is being added currently, as their only player is Broadridge, which isn't real. Okay. Well, yeah, nothing outperforms forever, right? Canton, Hyperliquid, I don't think can be stopped, but Canton was the only thing going up when the entire market was dumping, and you can expect corrections. Dark can't wait for the lizard emoji. Yes, we're going to get on that. Promise.
I know.
Right.
Eagle King, get on the lizard emoji.
Right. Judge, Jury, and Synthesizer sent happy poop emoji for 10 joules. Thank you. That's because we're broadcasting somewhere. We appreciate that. For healthcare, my stock is AB Saylor, ticker symbol ABCL. All right. We appreciate that.
Stock?
That's ADL's healthcare stock. This is the guy that picks the AI agents and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. So I think, so let's just share some of the stuff that, have I been sharing? I've been sharing.
What are we doing, Bill?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
Well, we're having crypto happy hour.
I'm the one who's drinking tequila.
I know, but okay. So we just want to make sure that everyone sees these projects, right?
Oh, okay.
Monad, which had a huge amount of hype when it came out, 10,000 transactions per second.
And this is critical. So I want to talk about why we're focusing on that, or maybe people don't care. Maybe they just are like, "What are you looking at?" I don't know. But the critical thing to know, if you're looking at investing, right, is that speed of transactions becomes absolutely critical more than anything else. And you pointed that out in the report. The machines don't care what's popular, they want to move the transactions. The speed at which these things are going to come through is going to wobble your brain. In 2 years, you're going to come back to me and you're going to be like, the movement.
Right.
It's going to be crazy, right? And so you'll look back. Everybody's moaning right now about, it's down and blah, 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 blah. And you're going to look back and go, oh, I wish we were back in these days when we could still do transactions at this normal for human to absorb speed, right?
Right.
The way it's going to be in the future and what we focus on in our, in our private stream is building this foundation that won't crack when you go into this highly volatile future, right? The reports that we give, the coins that we talk about, all of these are structural integrity that allows you to build on top of it. If you don't have that, if you have 3 coins and one of them's a meme coin and you're not built into this structural integrity for AI and what it means in the future, it's going to be a lot harder for you, which is why in our show we talk about polyamory and
right. And we have guys that play around in meme coins, but who also like AI and who know these things like the Tau subnets. Eagle King pointing out that interoperability is actually going up. Layer 0 is up 17% over the last week. Constellation, DAG, up a lot. Cellframe, up 42%. So, meanwhile, while everybody is talking about the 4-year cycle,
we're talking about the
machine trade has already
and
started.
Interoperability, which we talked about over a year ago, right?
Right.
When we talked about cross-chain and interoperability, and that was a narrative that I was telling everybody, critical, right? These are foundational layers.
Right.
So I don't want to make fun. A lot of people got into meme coins when that was all part of the 4-year cycle, but it's not really anymore. And
right. Well, we're super bored. But Cash Cat on Robinhood went from 0 to 8 cents because like Robinhood chain is now a thing. They have their own layer 1, and of course they have to get meme coins. So Robin Fun meme coin has gone up a lot, along with Cash Cat. It's just
but that's a casino.
We're so
I know. Well, I want to differentiate between a long-term strategy and something and a meme coin casino.
Right.
I don't want to be ugly if people own these coins, but the thing is that's gambling, whereas I'm focused on building structure.
Right. We're going to build structure for when the machines start trading, and who knows what the machines are going to do when they get there. Right. You may have layer 1s and regular crypto coins. Like when I listen to you, I think if you think about meme coin price action, like not necessarily the dump part, you may get deep retracements, but you may get parts of crypto trading like Robin Fun, like Cash Cat, where it's all of a sudden sitting there and then it just goes vertical because there's a story going on. Some guy had some guy bought Cash Cat on Robinhood chain. Again, the market's bored.
Casino.
Casino. I know it's your favorite topic.
Well, but the thing is that would you rather, and this is a personal decision, and it's like in our private show when people are like, well, should I do this? My first question is, what are you going to do next, right? So you need to have a strategy. And if your strategy is, let's try to find the next Pepe. I mean, that's how, I became well known on your channel was Pepe right from the very beginning. But it's not happening this year. The meme coin pumps are way tinier than they ever have before. So if that's what you want, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it's a very different strategy from how I think. I want to get into projects early. Like I want to get into Apple before everybody does. Like I told you, I have a friend who put a few $1,000s in Apple into the early days, and now they're a multimillionaire. To me, that's way more satisfying than to find the next meme coin that pumps, and then you got to time your exit for when everybody leaves.
Right. Well, you can hit one meme coin, but take the money and do something. Do something construction with it. We have Big Daddy Crypto in the house.
Hello.
Okay. Big Daddy Crypto got some Monad. He's got Hyperliquid and Aerodrome, which we are tracking. He owns Robinhood, got in at 82.
Nice.
He sees Robinhood and Coinbase as the plumbing of the future. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps it up for this unbelievably.
There's so much more we have to talk about.
Right. Well, there's so much.
We need another show.
Right. We're going to need another show. We would love it if, first of all, we would love it if you would hit the like button. That helps us.
Would be so
that helps move the stream.
Thank
so, we would like that. We would also like it if you would subscribe to the channel. That also helps us. And if you want to get on the next train, right? If the price action on Robinhood chain becomes pervasive across all crypto, that's really what Toby's trying to say, right? Across all crypto.
Yeah.
All right. And you start to get this wild action.
And that
the only
happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the big prophecy, right? This is going to happen. Right. And the only way to do it is to get in early. So like Big Daddy's got Coin and Hood and Aero, which is the DEXE for Coinbase, right? It's a man with it. Right. Toby was on Backpack, like, I don't know, at the beginning. So what we're doing is, the fact that we can find these 5X winners in a bear market, it means
and more. Some of them are more.
Yeah. Some of them were like 800% that you caught. Backpack was 800%.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, even if you have to, it's kind of like, sifting for gold, right? There's going to be a huge nugget in there. And
it makes everything worthwhile.
And who knows, one day, all of these picks could just go. Okay. So we're going to get a new coaster and some scrambled eggs. We hope you enjoyed Crypto Happy Hour. We will see you soon. Join button down below.
Bye-bye.